Week 1 of college football is here. We are back better than ever, and we are going to talk to you about a huge game going on in the state of Texas. I'm Nathan Johnson here with my co-host Brad Hopkins and special guest appearance from local real estate mogul and current UGA student, Mr. Ross Whitworth. Ross, good to see you, man.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Brad, as I mentioned, big game going on down in the South, state of Texas, where the number 7 Notre Dame Fighting Irish go on the road to Kyle Field in College Station, take on the number 20 Texas A&M Aggies. 7:30 kickoff on ABC/ESPN Plus. Texas A&M currently favored by 3 in this one. Brad, thoughts about this game? So much new to each team, coaching staff, players in the portal, and so on and so forth. Give us your take on this game and who comes out with a win.
Man, I'm so excited for this one on Saturday night. Of course, game day going to be there. It's going to be an electric atmosphere there in College Station, and of course, a new beginning for Texas A&M. Mike Elko coming over from Duke, replacing Jimbo and bringing a whole new staff, a whole new energy. I think it's just going to be fantastic, and I think it's going to be really, really good for A&M. I have my doubts just a little bit about Coach Elko. I'm curious to see, can he continue to recruit a high level? I think X's and O's and player development, he's going to be right on par. But, you guys know in the SEC, you've got to be able to get the Jimmies and Joes, as the old saying goes. So that's just a little blip about A&M. But getting into this game, speaking of A&M, Connor Weigman, he comes back from an injury. And of course, I'm a big guy looking at the NFL draft projections for next year. And you've seen his name come up as a first-round guy. And I definitely think he's got the potential. Nate, Ross, I'm interested to see what difference new offensive coordinator Colin Klein makes here. Of course, he's coming over from Kansas State, and he did wonders with that Kansas State offense last year. And now he's in College Station. I think he's going to be really, really good for Connor Weigman. I think he's going to be able to elevate him and take his game to the next level. They've got weapons all over the field. They've got a really, really good running back room that is, of course, led by Amari Daniels. And so I just think, man, A&M feels like a good team. Of course, we said that for so many years under Jimbo, that A&M looks good, and then of course they stumbled to a 8-4, 7-5 season. So I'm cautiously optimistic. Real quick, jumping over defense, of course, they bring back Shamar Stewart. They've got transfer defensive end Nick Scoreton, who looks good. So A&M is definitely looking good. Jumping over to Notre Dame, of course, the big name to talk about them is Duke transfer quarterback Riley Leonard. You know what he brings to the table. My big question is, can he stay healthy? Notre Dame's going to have weapons. They're going to have good offensive line play. And, of course, with Marcus Freeman, they're going to play good defense. But my prediction in this one, and 3 points A&M's favorite, I think that's a good line. I'm taking the Aggies. At Kyle Field. I think it's going to be extremely close. I think it's going to be physical. And I simply think it's going to come down to A&M just has a few more playmakers. They may be unknown right now, but I think Mike Elko and that coaching staff has done a good job this fall camp of just getting those guys ready to play and in the right position. So I'm taking A&M in a close one at Kyle Field on Saturday night.
Wow, great pick, Brad. Great pick. Ross, I'll turn it over to you. Brad mentioned transfers. Mike Elko coming in, Texas A&M for his first year as head coach, coming over from Duke. Thoughts on this game and who comes out with the win in College Station?
Well, I think this game is probably the biggest toss-up of the week. Anybody can come out with this game. I think the biggest impact is going to be the new come-in quarterback, Riley Leonard, for Notre Dame. If not for his ankle injury last year, Duke has a very, very real possibility of winning the ACC last year. And he single-handedly willpowered that win against Clemson. And I just think that Notre Dame in their second year, their third year under Marcus Freeman back there. And I just think that the culture he's being able to build there, we know they can get players. We know they got the publicity, they got the money, they got everything. at this point, it just comes down to, can they put it all together? Because we know A&M, they've got the oil money. They can buy anybody they want to. But at the end of the day, can the chemistry – I just don't think that the first year with a new coach with a bunch of transfers, it's always going to be very tough to win, and nevertheless against the number 7 ranked team in the country. And I just think Notre Dame comes out on top in this one. They got Jeremiah Love back there. They got Price. Those are 2 solid running backs. And Leonard, he is while A&M does have the 2 ends with Stewart and the newcomer Scoreton, Riley Leonard still is able to move the ball. And he can scramble out of the pocket. He'll be able to evade. They've got newcomer Bo Collins from Clemson. They've got Greathouse, the sophomore receiver. I think they still got Mitchell Evans, one of the top tight ends in the entire country. And I just think at the end of the day, they've got a lot of camaraderie because while Wegman, he is a good quarterback, he seems to be hurt all the time. And I just have to go with Notre Dame in this game.
Wow. Going with the upset, Ross. I like it. On the road in a hostile environment in Kyle Fieldwood. Some might say both of these programs have cult-like-ish fandoms. And look, hey, you can say what you want. We're boots on the ground every week getting the best information. I think one thing you have to remember is this is a Texas A&M team who has recruited outstandingly under Jimbo Fisher. We know the NIL money probably had a play in it. To Ross's point, the oil money. But look, every one of these programs has money. Now can Mike Elko come in, change the culture, and turn it into that blue blood, hard-nosed football team that we're used to seeing in College Station for years and years? Even under Johnny Manziel, it seemed like after Johnny Manziel came in, turns out the culture's flipped. They were like Hollywood, belly up in a club with Drake and Justin Bieber. Now I think they get back to that hard-nosed, blue blood, College Station, Texas football, and they're going to lean on Mike Elko and that offensive line for support. We talked about Connor Wayman into his second year as a starter. Haynes King, quarterback of A&M in the last 3 years ago, beat Alabama. Then he went on to beat Florida State. So, hey, A&M's doing something right. I know he's not there anymore, but I think A&M has the best bet to win the game. To Ross's point, you talk about the Fighting Irish at Notre Dame. And Riley Leonard, who is transferred from Duke, great quarterback, great leader, great sound mind, very calm in hostile situations. And we saw him deliver last year against Clemson at home that first week. The question, to Ross's point, is can he stay healthy? We've seen Connor Wayman be injured year after year. We've also seen Riley Leonard be injured a lot too. So this is really going to come down to who can stretch it out in the fourth quarter. Only a 3-point spread in this one. Both teams have a good chance in this game. In the end, I have to go with my gut, and I have to take the Texas A&M Aggies. Gig 'em. I think this is going to be a close game. You know, Riley Leonard, very limited last year. Only 699 yards rushing, 13 touchdowns on 129 carries. He's got a lot of upside, and I think Notre Dame has a good chance of winning this game. But I think in the end, home field advantage comes into play for the Texas A&M Aggies. Give me the Aggies and look for Mike Elko to come out with a big win to start his tenure at Texas A&M. That's a wrap for today. Be sure to subscribe down below. Give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Comment who you believe is going to win this matchup. And let us know. Squad Blitz, our new fantasy college football app partnership. Great stuff over there. If you're tired of the NFL, check out squadblitz.com. Join our league today. We'll see you next week. It's time to break the huddle.